Hey there, Crystal Thompson here with the Unity Stamp Company project. We are doing some alcohol ink on the back of this acetate card. This is a great way to utilize your acetate and then those beautiful alcohol inks without Yupo paper. You're using acetate. And let me show you. The alcohol ink is on the back of this. So stay tuned on how we are creating this wonderful card. It was really easy to make. So stay tuned on how to make it. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. All right, so for this project, we're going to be using the Say It With Love. This is a super popular kit, and this is created by Lisa. This is the January 2020 sentiment kit. So anyways, we're going to be using this awesome hugs and my friend. So my thought process is hello, my friend, or hugs, my friend. And I'm really excited about that because we are going to be using acetate on our card. So I have a piece of acetate. This is 4 1/4 by 11. So I just cut off that 1/2 inch, and then I scored it at the 5 1/2. And so I'm not going to fold it fully, but I just wanted to show you that I had scored it because we're going to place a nice little piece of cardstock right in the interior so you can write your message. However, we're still going to have a really fantastic card front. So to begin, we are going to grab our dryer sheet. So you can use Embossing Buddy or anything that you've got. I'm kind of out of my cornstarch, so I'm just going to use the dryer sheet. It's going to remove any static. I have black embossing powder for this tutorial. I felt like this was really going to pop, so I have my embossing ink ready to go. And we can get started. We're going to ink up the hugs with our embossing ink. And so I'm not using heat resistant acetate, and I feel like people are always like, you must have that. I don't think you do. I feel like you just have to be really gentle with your heat, not keep it in one spot. And we're going to do my friend. This is going to be a super slow drying, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to lift it from the other side, and then I'm going to bring in my black embossing powder, and then we're going to do it on the hugs, just kind of sprinkling it on. Oh, and I totally missed a spot. We're going to remove the excess, and then we're going to heat set. Let me show you how we're going to heat set. Alrighty guys, so I have it ready to go. I'm going to turn on my gun and let it heat set or warm up for just a little bit. Remove any excess little dots. It's not a huge deal because we're going to add alcohol ink in the back and it's not going to totally show off. We're going to come on the back and very lightly start heat setting that. So the acetate is really going to heat up. And so even though you won't have your gun on it, it's still going to continue cooking that heat embossing powder. So you just want to keep moving it around, and you can see that it's not curling, it's not warping, and this is not heat resistant or heat approved acetate. But I want to show you that you can do it if you're very gentle with it. You can see it's still not curling on me. Just being very gentle with it. It takes a little longer, I feel, just because we're being very careful with it, but you can see it. Alright, got the hugs part done. And then we're going to make sure we have my friend. And it's done, so we're just going to do one last go around. And we can let it cool. So don't drag it down. I'm going to put it down so you can see how it's not warped. And we're using heat resistant acetate. We're going to let that cool, and then we're going to start using our alcohol inks. So we're going to be using 2 colors. We're going to use the alcohol pearled in Intrigue, and then the other one in Tranquil. You want to use a paper plate, and then we'll get started. Alrighty guys, so it's nice and cool. I'm going to flip it over, and we have it on our plate. And as I had mentioned, I had already scored this, and you don't have to, but I just felt it was easier to have it scored, and I'm just going to follow that. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to really get that nail in there so it fits in the plate. And this is just a normal plate. There's nothing fancy about it, and it's a paper So there we have it. This is going to protect our surface. So I'm going to use 2 colors of alcohol ink. I'm using pearlescent ones, so you can use whatever you like. And all we're doing is getting really wild on the back of this. And then we're going to grab our other color. You can use gloves. Be sure to use this in a very ventilated area. And the reason we heat set first, it would be easier when you're stamping if you stamped it on a alcohol ink, but I don't want to catch our house on fire. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to do it the other way. We'll do the heat embossing first, and then we'll do the alcohol ink. And it creates a beautiful color because this is pearl alcohol inks. You can even use your Copic refills. So essentially, I'm just moving this around because I want the entire back, the entire thing of my hugs to be covered, right? Okay, so now we're done with that. We're going to add some more. If you place it down on your plate, you're going to find that you might get some in the front of your card. So we're just going to do this. And I'm going to flip it over to show you. Look how fun that looks. So we're going to let it dry. It's just going to take a couple minutes, and then we're going to move on to the next part of our card making. Alright guys, so this is somewhat dry now, and let me show you what this looks like. So I have folded it fully, and look how cool. And I know the lights kind of get in the way, but I just wanted to really show you. So then when you lift it up, you have your acetate, and then you have this back part, and it looks fabulous. So you want to be sure that it's completely dry. So as we are waiting for that to completely dry, I have my piece of the beautiful cardstock, and this is, I believe, a sea foam, and I felt that it would just match really nicely. We're going to place it in the inner part of our acetate card, and this is going to allow us to really write down our message. It's going to frame that hugs, but you really can't see it. Isn't that fabulous? So guys, that does it for me. I'm so glad you stuck around with me today on another way to use acetate and alcohol inks in a very basic form. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends if you really enjoyed this technique, and subscribe. I would forever appreciate you subscribing to my channel. You'll get notifications if you want on new videos. We'll see you guys later.